Welcome back to the Banganator podcast, brought to you by your host, Esley Banga, Season 2, Episode 7. And I'm here with my guest. She's back, Kathleen Callahan. What's up, Kathleen? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be back when the Rangers are going to the World Series.
Yes. How about them Rangers? Yup.
How about them Rangers?
You see me repping.
I know. I love it. From top to bottom. Top to bottom.
Yup. Let's freaking go. Let's go. I'm going to get into the Rangers later in this show. But, me and you, we're going to be talking Dallas Cowboys and WNBA, Dallas Wings, Aces versus Liberty. So, we're going to get into it. Since this is a Cowboys first show, so, we're going to talk about the Cowboys real quick. Cowboys versus Rams. They are playing on Sunday. The Cowboys are 4-2. The Rams are 3-4. You are what your record says you are. So 3-4. It's not that great, but Stafford, Kupp, and Puka, they can do some big things. What you think about the game?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd like to start with Puka a little bit. Whoa.
Yeah.
No one saw that coming.
Exactly.
I mean, I haven't watched the Rams that much this year, but from what I see, it's going to be a pass first team. Matthew Stafford's great. He's from Highland Park. I don't know if you know that, but
true.
But he's a great passer. He took him to the Super Bowl. Kupp is back. Kupp's a great receiver. Obviously, Puka's been doing it. So I think it'll be a little bit of a challenge for our cornerbacks. Stephon Gilmore, great. I think he can see everything, but I mean, he's what, 30, 31
yeah,
or 33?
Exactly. Yeah, he did lose a step from his prime.
Yeah, he's not in his prime, but I mean, you can sometimes make up for that, right, with just being good.
True.
Right?
True.
And positioning yourself in the right position. He's gotten 2 interceptions this year.
Yeah.
And Bland is like an interception machine. I feel like Bland, though, is kind of like Diggs in his first year where he overcommits a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's why he gets these interceptions, but you can see that somebody could beat him. So
yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a challenge for them. So let's see how they do.
I'm kind of worried about same thing as you, kind of like just defensive wise, because Stafford can light it up with his arm. Cooper Kupp, we know how good he is. He's back from injury. And Puka Nacua, you mentioned it. He's been going off this year. I'm just worried about, because our defense has games where they'll shut out or they'll play great, have a bunch of turnovers, but then have games where they give up a bunch of rushing yards, give up easy passes, and it looks like they can't stop anybody. So that's my number one worry. My number 2 worry is, red zone. We can't get in. Or, the last game, like I pointed in the last episode of my podcast, just penalties. And because of that, we got a punt.
That was so bad.
Yeah. So that's what I'm worried about for the most part.
Right. I mean, I was watching some things and just talking about how bad the O-line was last week, which, again, it was the first time they had played together since 2021, all of them. True. So that's kind of a crazy. I think it's a concern, too, because McCarthy's offense is slow and methodical.
Yeah.
But he's got, if the defense for some reason gives up 21 points in the first 3 quarters, he's got to speed that up,
Exactly. And
to catch up.
Dak,
I fear if he's got to speed that up to catch up. Right.
Yeah.
And the run game has just been terrible. I don't even know why we talk about Dak. If the run game is just atrocious. I don't have, what did Tony have last game?
He had 80 receiving yards, but he had way less rushing yards.
Right. Dak was their number 1 rusher. And that is just, if you have no rush game at all, you're a one-dimensional team.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. But what I hate is how Dak gets so much flack for throwing interceptions, but Jalen Hurts, he leads the NFC in interceptions. And I think he's tied with Jimmy Garoppolo for most interceptions in the league. He's a turnover machine, Jalen Hurts. And so just like Michael Parsons said, give that same energy to Jalen Hurts.
Right. I was listening to Joy Taylor actually a second ago, and I just get so mad about it because, 2 things. It's just that they're just the narrative, right? I'm listening to her. I wouldn't have heard anything she said all day if she hadn't have criticized Dak. And I was like, they didn't even play this week.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
are we still talking?
They can't keep the Cowboys out their mouths.
Right. Like, how are we still talking about this? And she was talking about Jalen Hurts' resume. But the thing is that he's been in the league, 4 years?
Yeah.
Or 3?
3, I think. Yeah.
3, 4. Yeah. So, but the years before that, I mean, he got better every year, right? Or he got better with time.
Yeah.
But this year he hasn't been that, and I don't think 1 year makes a career.
I was also watching Speak on FS1, and they had that topic where they were talking about, are you giving Jalen Hurts a pass? And I was like, what are we talking about? Why are you giving him a pass? If anything, because of the quarterback that he is and how he's progressed, he took the team to the Super Bowl. Why are you giving him a pass? You wouldn't give Dak Prescott a pass, and Dak Prescott has done less. So why are you giving a quarterback, Jalen Hurts, who's done more? Why are you giving him a pass? So I don't get it.
I think that they should be criticizing him because they criticize other people, but I don't think it should be the only factor anyway. I'm just annoyed that they did it to Dak. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But it's the Cowboys, so people are always going to get on the Cowboys.
But I mean, the Eagles were a better team than us last year from top to bottom. There was like no real. Maybe we had better pass rushers. Still, they probably still have a better roster than us.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Overall, they do, which is why I have us losing to the Eagles in 2 weeks.
Next week.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that Micah Parsons said something, because honestly, if your team's not defending you, then who is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I love his podcast, by the way. I watch it every week.
I just see clips. I need to go back and see what he's talking about, because he's doing a great job. That man can market himself.
Yeah.
Day one.
Yes. Yes. I love it. His podcast this week, he was talking about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They're all over the social media, and he was saying how there's a stat that came out where he actually plays better whenever she's in attendance at the games, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, he been doing that. It's not because of Taylor Swift, but if you get a bad girl and attending your game, you're gonna have a little bit extra motivation. And he's right.
I mean, you can't really deny that there's little things.
Yeah.
Right? Football, sports, it's mental. Yeah. It's so mental.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So any little thing like that does affect them.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not a Chiefs fan, though, because if I had to see them pull away to her every single time that they did anything, I feel like I'd be like, come on, y'all.
Yeah, it is. It has gotten excessive. I don't mind it, but I'm not a Chiefs fan, so yeah, you're right. I think it was 3 weeks ago, Jake Ferguson was reportedly dating. I don't know if you know the Cavinder twins that played women's basketball at the University of Miami. Yeah, he was reportedly dating one of the twins, and I tweeted on Twitter. I was like, well, yeah, that's the poor man's Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. But yeah,
let's get excited about them. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we both got the Cowboys winning. So yeah.
Yeah. So let's move that. Let's just do that. Take care of business. Move on to the Eagles. I know you haven't listened to the Eagles. Mm-hmm. I'm back and forth on that. I'm going to be in Dallas at Christmas, so I want them to win that game versus the Eagles, and then everything else won't matter.
All right. Yeah. Let's move on to the WNBA. The main reason why you here. The Wings got swept by the Aces in the semifinals. Obviously, that sucked. Game 3. Game 1, they lost 97-83. Game 2, they lost 91-84. And Game 3, that's the game where, I mean, we both still had the Wings losing the series, but they lost 64-61. And it sucked because obviously we know how the end of that game went. What did you think about the series overall?
I mean, it went kind of like you would think it would go, Yeah. The Wings are a hard team because sometimes they just come out and it's like, whoa. And then sometimes they don't. And they're so inconsistent with that it's hard. Mm-hmm. And they kind of depend on their 3-point shooting, which is not they don't depend on it, but that's the games that they dominate. That's what they're doing really well. And their 3-point shooting overall is not great within the league. I think they're pretty mid-tier. But yeah, I mean, I liked watching them play. Game 3 was hard. Game 3 was really hard.
Yeah.
I was like jumping in my room. I was like, what can we not make? I feel like they didn't make a shot for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what it felt.
Like the Aces gave that to them.
Yes.
It looked like somebody wrote the script for them to win.
Like it looked
you know
like,
what I mean?
yeah,
like,
it looked like they were trying to like throw the game. That's how it looked like when it comes to shooting a basketball. If the shot's not going in, now you might second guess yourself and you might not even shoot it or double clutch or overdo the mechanic. And now the shots that are supposed to go in, even if it's open, like now you're just not hitting it. But as professionals, there's no excuse. First of all, the Wings were up by 12 in the fourth, and then the Wings didn't score in the last 4 minutes, 59 seconds. That is atrocious.
Gosh.
They were missing 3-pointers, mid-ranges. I don't know if they missed layups, but like, damn, they just couldn't get nothing. And I was pissed off. Biggest choke job that I've seen in the WNBA.
It was really bad for a playoff team that is that good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know what they gonna do in the draft or the off season, but we'll see.
I really wish this will never happen, but if we could get Skylar Diggins-Smith to just come back and forget about all that shit that happened.
True. Actually,
so they're not. It has to be the draft, and they have the 5th pick. But there's just not very many point guards in the draft that aren't named Caitlin Clark, who was like 1st round draft pick, right? First up.
True.
And then Haley Van Lith.
I love Haley Van Lith. Oh yeah. LSU. They
well, that's mock drafts have her going to Dallas. Mock drafts have her going to Dallas.
That would be badass. That would be badass because Haley Van Lith, she tore up Texas because I'm a Texas fan.
Oh damn.
So she tore up Texas in the tournament last year, and then she goes over to LSU, and I feel like LSU is gonna repeat because of that. But if she goes to Dallas, like I'm gonna be a way bigger Haley Van Lith fan because I
so tell me, so
game.
you've seen her play because I think she's shown as a shooting guard, but does she run the floor too?
Whenever she's asked to, I feel like she can. Like she can run plays. I feel like she can. What about Angel Reese?
I like Angel a lot. I think I'm not saying that Angel's not going to be there, but I think that people need to give her time.
Yeah.
Because she's not a 3-point shooting big, which limits your you know what I mean? Limits your ability and she's the big difference is when they come in from college, they're just not as big. I mean, I'm like sitting here thinking, what is Angel Reese going to look like up against Asia Wilson, Alyssa Thomas.
Don't get swatted by Asia Wilson.
Tierra McCowan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Tierra McCowan's going to step on her. You know what I mean? It just
hit the weight room.
You just have to you just have to develop that strength.
Yeah. Let's talk about Aces versus Liberty though. Game 1, the Aces won 99-82. Game 2, the Aces won 104-76. At that point, I thought that they were going to sweep. Then game 3, the Liberty win 87-73, pretty convincingly. That surprised me. It wasn't even a close game. And then, but injuries. And then game 4, Aces took it all, 70-69. Some key things in that end of game scenario that we were talking about on Twitter. Aces up 70-69. Jonquel Jones blocked Asia Wilson's layup with 16 seconds left. The Liberty waited till 8 seconds left to call timeout. After the timeout, Courtney Vandersloot missed the 18-foot jumper with a second left. Jonquel Jones then rebounded, but it was too late to put up the shot. Yeah, let's talk about that. How that was kind of mismanaged right there at the end by the Liberty.
Yeah, it's funny because you saw that I wouldn't even say that I got into arguments. It was an interesting discussion. There was one person who brought something up that made me think about it, but yeah, I mean, everybody, I brought this up on Twitter because I was like, nobody's talking about this, but Sandy Brandello didn't call this timeout. Because the thing is, right, somebody told me this, and I thought this was a good point. She was trying to let them get the fast break point first. That didn't happen very quickly. Because like you said, I went right before this and I looked again. they passed the ball to Sabrina Ionescu at 15 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
She was at half court.
Yeah.
So that means 7 seconds. 7 seconds in basketball is a lifetime.
It is.
Like
it is
1, 2. So and Sabrina was the one who had the ball when they called the timeout. So that means that Sabrina had the ball, just dribbling it.
Yeah.
For 7 seconds, and you can even hear the like announcers are like, I guess she's not going to call a timeout, and then she calls it, and I'm like, why did she let all that time go off the clock?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. Yeah. And then I was like, well, maybe she wants them to get the last shot, and she didn't, she wants to surprise them or something. But then on the sideline, she's talking to her team, and she says, so if we don't get the shot, foul them when they get the rebound. So that tells me that she assumed there would be a second chance somewhere.
Yeah.
With 8 seconds left, there's probably not going to be a second chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And you have the best rebounder on the floor. I mean, Jonquel Jones has got to be at least 2 inches taller, and who knows what I mean, she's a rebounding machine, And also I will say the choice to give it, I know Brianna Stewart is their best player. We all know that, right? She's MVP of the league. You can debate that. If it's her, Asia, or Alicia Clark, like, right. We can debate that, but you can't debate that on their team. She is the best player. She is the scorer. She is the one who leads the team, right? But she was 7 of 18. We should look up the stat. It's not good. It's bad. It's really bad. She deserves to be criticized for it.
Yeah.
But if that's happening, just like we were talking about earlier, that's a mental thing. So there's something not for her, it's something not clicking. And that's what they think you're going to do. So I just feel like it would have been smarter to run a different play. Because basically they were like, give her the ball and let her try to go to the basket.
Yeah.
Shot it back out to Courtney because she went there and there were like 3 people on her.
Yeah.
So she shot it back out. And Courtney Vandersloot's their worst 3-point shooter. She was doing well that night, but she's just in general, that's who it is. And she wasn't even set up. It was like a last minute play.
Yeah, exactly.
So the play itself didn't pan out.
The way that things went, if Jonquel Jones could have gotten a rebound like she did, she
one more second.
Exactly. They could have won that game. So yeah, it's one thing if like you already talked about it previously, and then like you don't even want to call the timeout. You just want to let your players do their thing. If you already talked about it, that's fine. And like to use that whole entire time to do something. But if you're gonna call a timeout, you might as well have just called it like as soon as you got the rebound. So
if you're gonna
to wait that long.
And if you see that your player's in duress and you call it, but she just 7 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just such an eternity of time to let her just dribble the ball. Like, I feel like after 3, you call it.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Because you want your team to have a chance to get the rebound because you are the better rebounding team at that point. You have the best rebounder on the floor.
Yeah.
So that's what I would think, right?
I see it a lot in the NBA whenever I play 2K, NBA 2K on PlayStation.
Yeah.
You always know that you don't want to take the last shot at the, like when there's a second left, you want to take the last shot, like probably like 5, 4, 3 seconds left. So like, just in case that there is a rebound, okay, you can try to put it back up. So yeah, I agree with you. They should have called timeout, came up with a better play, used the rest of the clock to run that play, shot the ball like around 5, 4 seconds left. So that, if Jonquel Jones gets the rebound, put it up. But Aces won, back-to-back champs. I looked at some clips from their parade. It was badass.
So good.
Yeah, I love it. And I hope Liberty versus Aces. I hope that's a rivalry for years to come. Like, cause we love rivalries in sports. It's good for the WNBA, especially as the WNBA is growing. So I hope that's a rivalry for years to come. I love it.
Right. I mean, and watching these videos of what Barclays Center looks like in New York at the WNBA, sold out games.
Yes.
And not just sold out, like lit, like people are there. And I don't know if you saw it, Becky Hammond's been also all over talking so much trash. There's this great video of her. She was cussing in the parade speech or whatever, and she had to pay. She was like paying her fine in cash.
I saw that. She had the cash out Man,
She's like,
she flexing for real.
yeah, it's funny. I mean, I love when a coach can get down there with their team and do that.
Yeah,
It just makes them more relatable.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And she, as a former player herself, yeah, I bet she is definitely relatable.
Right. She was a dog. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Becky's like, again, like 5'5",
yeah,
and in the Hall of Fame.
she is. She in the Hall
You
of
know what
Fame.
I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. She in the Hall of Fame for a reason. Whenever you're in town in December, hit me up. We'll go to Texas Live.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I want to go to Texas Live. I'm super excited about that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and go Rangers.
Yeah.
I can't wait till tomorrow.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
Mavericks.
Yup. Oh, okay. I see you with the Dirk jersey. Yeah.
Yeah. I got my
Throwback.
Dirk on.
Yeah.
A throwback. I know. I want to get a new one.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one, but I want a new one.
Yeah.
So good talking to you.
Hey, you too. It's always lovely having conversations with you about sports. You definitely know your stuff. You're a WNBA connoisseur. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, of course.
Everybody,
I only want to know more.
Follow Kathleen Callahan on the Twitter X. Dallas Sports Addict.
Dallas Fan Addict.
Dallas
like
Fan Addict. Okay, yeah.
together.
There you go. Thank you so much, Kathleen.
All right. See you later, okay?
All right, bye.
Bye.
The Texas Rangers are going to the World Series. Let's go. You know I'm pumped. I was at Texas Live, living it up. Like I've said before, it's in the name, Texas Live. Everybody was live. Everybody was lit. Game 7, there are no bigger words, better words in sports than Game 7. Whether it's NBA, whether it's NHL, MLB, baby. Game 7. Game 1, the Rangers won 2-0. Tavares with a home run in the 5th. Game 2, the Rangers won 5-4, starting off strong 4-0, and then they almost caught back up, but we ended up pulling it out. Games 3, 4, and 5, we ended up losing at home. Game 3, Astros won 8-5. Game 4, Astros won 10-3, blowout fashion. Really disappointed. Last minute, while I was watching Game 4 at Texas Live, I was like, you know what? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I'm going to buy tickets to go to Game 5, experience the Rangers playing playoff baseball at Globe Life Field. So, bought tickets. Game 5, I was in the building. Astros ended up winning 5-4. It was lit. It was a lit atmosphere. The people I was around, Astros fans, Rangers fans, they was hype. It was badass experience. I loved it. Rangers were down 2-1. This is Game 5. Rangers were down 2-1. Adolis Garcia hit a 3-run homer in the 6th. Garcia was hit by a pitch by Brian Abreu, and that's where chaos ensued. There was a brawl, and I filmed it on my phone too, because I was there live. There was a brawl, not really a brawl, but just like benches cleared, even the bullpens cleared. They was getting into it. Garcia ejected. Dusty Baker, manager for the Astros, ejected. And Abreu was also ejected. It was reported by Channel 8 News that they believe that Abreu might have done that on purpose. So that's why they chose to eject him. They gave him a suspension, but whatever. It doesn't matter because, we ended up winning the series. Right after Garcia got ejected, after he got hit with Abreu's pitch, Altuve hit a 3-run homer in the top of the 9th. And I was heartbroken. Astros fans around me was going crazy. Oh my gosh, I was dejected. And then we still had one last chance in the bottom of the 9th to tie the game or get it to extra innings or take the lead, but we just couldn't get it done. And I believe that Adolis Garcia would have been in the batting order, and it would have been possible that he hit a homer, but we just couldn't get it done. So at this point, Game 5, it's nobody at home has won a game. Game 6 in Houston, Rangers won 9-2. Adolis Garcia hit a grand slam in the 9th to further the lead, 9-2. And then the Rangers won 11-4. I was at Texas Live. I was lit. Corey Seager started off things big. Home run in the first. We started off 3-0. Adolis Garcia hit a home run in the third. Expanded the lead. The lead grew to 8-2. At that point, I was like, oh yeah, we going to the World Series, baby. Nathaniel Lowe and Adolis Garcia hit more home runs to bring the score to 11. We ended up winning 11-4. Let's freaking go. It's crazy. Like Adolis Garcia, he won MVP of the ALCS, and he definitely deserves it. He is he went 4 straight games in this series getting a home run. Like, y'all know how crazy that is. So he definitely deserves it. The Rangers move on to the World Series, and they will play the Diamondbacks, Arizona Diamondbacks. Game 1 Friday, 7 p.m. World Series games. The cheapest ticket I could find was $600, $700. So yeah, I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna watch all the games at Texas Live instead. But we go into the freaking World Series. Let's go. Thank you all for watching this episode of the Banganator podcast. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. Please follow me on the Banganator podcast Instagram and Banganatorpod_4 on the Twitter X. I hope y'all enjoyed my interview with Kathleen Callahan. Cowboys, we got the Rams on Sunday. Let's get this dub. And Texas Rangers, we in the World Series, baby. Let's go.
The Banganator podcast is brought to you by Esley Banga, diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys since 1997. How about them Cowboys?